Are we filming? Yes, we are. So, we have a filofax here. And it doesn't really matter what filofax. This just happens to be, as some of you will recognise, as a Guildford Mini Extra Slim. But it doesn't have to be one of these. I'm currently using a filofax Portland Mini as well. Seen better days, but it's still it's functioning very well. In fact, in certain regards, this is actually functioning much better than this one, but that's for another day. So, today I'm going to talk about my 16-page annual diary. It's just an experiment that I've been working on, yet another experiment. I like experiments. I like procedures, I like experiments, and there are some successes and failures. The jury's going to be out on this, but I want to explain what I'm doing here. So, this diary is an annual diary and consists of 16 pages. And as you turn over each pair of pages, on the right-hand side, you will have days of the month. So there's January 2024 here that goes all the way down to the 31st of January. And then this is February, starting at the 1st, and obviously the next page it will continue. So this is A7 paper, and it has 5mm squares, which is quite typical. This particular paper is from a Rhodia A7 notebook, which I quite like because it's just perfect. It's the perfect size for my Guildford Mini Extra Slim. So I like it. I like this paper, and also one of the things I like about this paper is the fact that it has quite a good tear resistance for the holes, and that's important if you are going to be using paper in a binder that's going to be in here for 12 months, constantly turning over the pages, checking what you're doing. So it has to be a little bit better than the paper such as I use for other applications, like just memos, which is more disposable. But certainly from a diary point of view, I like this. I believe this is 80 grams per square metre, and it's just nice Clairefontaine paper out of a Rhodia book. Anyway, I digress. So, what am I doing here? Well, the layout is I love this layout. I really do. You've got the month here, and why have I got it down here? It's because it's just very, very uncluttered. And because I'm a left-hander, I tend to have my diary tilted like that. If you are a right-hander, you might well have your diary tilted like that. If you are a right-hander, you would write it the other way round so that you can more easily see the month, etc. But for me, because I tend to have my diary like this so that I can write with my left hand, it's more appropriate to write this way. And filofax, you should take note of this, because you only print your dividers one way round. So you should really have a choice of either left-handed or right-handed. But anyway, that's just a little tip for anyone listening from the FLB group. But on the left-hand side is a series of letters A to W here. So there's 23 rows. Although, interestingly, I'm going to do another video that shows why it should really be 24, but that's for another video. So, as it stands, 23 rows. Now, if you divide 23 into 365, That means just under 16, hence the 16 pages that would give you your annual diary. By the way, these just using a highlighter pen, I just do that for the weekends because that it's just, for me, I think that's quite a simple and elegant way of marking out a diary system without having to actually insert the days of the week, which can be a little bit cluttered if you're only working with the A7 format, which is, very, very small, really. So what have we got here? Well, we've got an M there against the 24th of January, and we know it's a Wednesday because we can tell it's a Wednesday without even thinking about it, because you've got the Saturday and Sunday marked there, Saturday and Sunday marked there. It's a Wednesday 24th. What's happening? There's an M there and an M there. So it's a reference. So I've actually put down their MOT, which is, in the UK, we have to have our cars tested for roadworthiness every year. It's called the MOT, the Ministry of Transport Test, I believe. It's a bit old-fashioned now, but there we go. So why am I using M? Well, it's just easier to use. I find that if I'm going to mark down the fact that my car is due for its MOT there, I might as well use the letter M for MOT, but I don't have to do that. So I have got a way of writing down on this page things that might be, if you like, might be happening here. And to be honest, I'm not doing anything on these pages other than the things that cannot be changed. They're cast in stone, like, for instance, an MOT or birthdays of friends and family. So it doesn't encompass everything you need in a diary, but I like to use this. I've only been doing this for maybe a couple of months, but I just wanted to share it with you because I've only got the one thing in January 24 so far, but certainly months that are coming up sooner than that. Then this is full of stuff, and this is full of it's like a key, isn't it? So essentially, on the 24th of January, take this as an example, there's space to put lots of different things that are going on potentially on that day, and then I can add those things here. Now, if I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things to do on that specific day, I would actually need probably a whole A7 page to note them down. But doing it this way, I can actually make my diary more concise, potentially limiting it to 16 pages. Now, I'm sure someone out there will say, well, what if you have more than 10 things to do? Well, I have a suggestion, and as you can probably hear, I'm in the kitchen at the moment, so that's why it's a bit echoey, but this is what I would do. So, just imagine that I have exhausted all these rows, these 23 rows. So I've actually got a 24th, a 25th, a 26th thing that pops up in this in these days. Well, I would just make another piece of paper, same A7 paper, but what I would do is just imagine that I've exhausted all these lines. I would put another one here, and to avoid confusion, I would now have numbers. So I've now got an extra 23 things that I could potentially add to here. And I've never done that, and I can't envisage that because I'm semi-retired. I just don't have the sort of diary that I used to have in terms of the number of engagements or appointments. But the thing that I want to share with you is the fact that if you are busier than me and you do have a situation where you're using something like this, where you're using a single letter and then you can easily cross-reference it against like a key, if you like, you could potentially expand it by having an extra page and then start with numbers. So that would give you 46 things, and you know, maybe that's enough for everybody. If potentially you had needed even more space, then just add another piece of paper, cut it down by one line, and then maybe Greek numerals. Who knows? Maybe symbols, a star, a triangle, a square, or a circle, but something that would enable you to just put something here, like a triangle, and in the third bit of paper here, you would have a triangle. Triangle means, I don't know, whatever. So it is expandable, and it is fairly fair. It is a fairly minimalist system, but I actually quite like it by virtue of the fact that although it does seem to be a bit of a faff, I've had many a coffee in the garden thinking about this, and I'm thinking, do you know what? Because you don't have to turn over pages, you've literally got this open, and you are looking at this page and this page simultaneously. And I have found, I wasn't sure to start with, but I have found that this is very, very easy. And the trade-off is it actually gives you the opportunity to slim down your diary. Now, would you use this in conjunction with a more detailed library? Maybe, who knows? But all I'm saying is this is an idea that I'd love to share with you, and hopefully it's if one or two people find this as a good idea, then it's well worth me sharing it. So thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate that. And until next time, goodbye.